Discover 7 heartwarming dinosaur facts that will change your perspective and inspire sweet dreams. Jack was a science teacher in a small Kansas town, a place where dreams sometimes went to sleep. Yet today, he felt a spark deep within, fueled by the untamable allure of dinosaurs. Discover 7 heartwarming dinosaur facts that will change your perspective and inspire sweet dreams. He whispered to himself, marveling at the excitement that seemed to fill his classroom. The hope was palpable. Maybe today would be the day that their work could break through. "Okay, class," Jack began, thrusting a hand into the air like a T-Rex on a mission. As he continued, the weight of the world seemed to lift from his shoulders. His students' eyes widened, their faces a whirlwind of curiosity and wonder. "Did you know that some dinosaurs cared for their young, just like we do?" A soft gasp ran through the room. It reminded him of his late mother, who had filled their home with such positivity and a passion for learning. Her spirit resonated in those classrooms like a heartbeat. As the weeks went by, Jack urged his class to dive into the mysteries of these creatures, planting seeds of resilience and imagination in their hearts. He saw their hidden struggles, a girl facing social stigma, a boy trying to fight off hunger with nothing but book pages and the occasional snack. They rallied together like a tribe of little dinosaurs, pushing through late nights full of laughter and discoveries. Each heartwarming fact they uncovered acted like glue, binding their group and igniting a fierce sense of camaraderie. This was true teamwork built on hope and dreams that seemed unreachable just moments before. Just as the excitement crescendoed, Jack knew what was coming. The annual science fair, a pivotal moment for him and his students. "The fair is our chance to show the community the power of discovery," he declared. With tension building in the room, he felt a rush of urgency. Here, with these students by his side, he believed they could change minds. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue." Fair day dawned bright, but filled with uncertainty. Jack felt his heart thump like a drum. The air was thick with anticipation, punctuated by the excited chatter of parents and townsfolk who had come to witness their children shine. Jack positioned himself beside his students as they set their colorful exhibit, lined with handmade posters detailing their newfound dinosaur knowledge. As they took the stage, Jack looked into their eager faces, all lit up with enthusiasm. It was pure. It was raw. It was everything the community needed to see. But as they presented, Jack noted the murmurs from local leaders in the crowd, often dismissive of his unique methods. Doubts crept in, a chill that tangled with the day's warmth. But the room began to shift. Frowns turned to intrigue as students showcased their hard work, their dreams woven into tales of ancient giants. Then came the moment. The head judge took the microphone, and time hung suspended like a drawing, a taut string that could either snap or soar. Jack's throat tightened as he watched hope blossom amongst his students, pulling them together as they waited. Would this fair solidify their connection to the community, or would they become a reminder of how innovation could be rejected? As silence wrapped around the place like a thick fog, Jack wondered if this day would change everything for them all. The judge cleared his throat, breaking the tense silence that hung in the air. "Thank you for that inspiring presentation. It's clear how much hard work and creativity went into your project." Jack held his breath, heart racing as he caught the hopeful glances of his students. "We loved hearing about how dinosaurs, much like us, formed communities and cared for each other. That speaks volumes about the importance of teamwork," the judge continued, his eyes shining with a hint of admiration. Jack's heart swelled. This was it. Their passionate work was being acknowledged, the example of their struggles of togetherness resonating in that moment. But the judge paused, letting the tension build again. Jack shifted his weight, uncertainty bubbling up inside him. What was coming next? While I am impressed, the judge said slowly, I also have to consider the overall impact of your project on science education. You see, if we want this community to truly embrace innovation and modern teaching methods, it begins with understanding the basics first. A ripple of discontent raced through the crowd. Jack felt it too, a swirling knot of emotions that could easily dash the hopes of his students. Yet at the same time, he realized that their unconventional approach could light a spark, even if just to challenge the traditional norms. The judge concluded with a gentle reminder of the fairest objective. This is a friendly competition. We need to celebrate and uplift our future scientists, and that includes embracing different methods of learning. Jack took a moment to gather himself. He could see his students shifting nervously, scanning the audience for signs of approval. They needed encouragement. All right, everyone, Jack called out, his voice imbued with determination. What we did was just about facts on paper. It was about creating connections, showing how learning can inspire our dreams. We are all capable of greatness, just like those magnificent dinosaurs. His students looked up at him, worry slowly morphing into resolve. Jack saw their eyes shining, a flicker of belief igniting as they clung to each other as hands. The warmth among them felt like a protective bubble, strong enough to cut through the uncertainty. Then, one brave girl stepped forward, her voice steady. We may not know all the answers yet, but we believe in what we're doing. Dinosaurs teach us about survival and friendship, and together, we can change anything. The crowd erupted into applause, catching even Jack off guard. Instead of silence, there was a swell of energy that washed over the room, a collective recognition of something greater than results, the magic of shared experience and tenacity. Suddenly, the air seemed lighter. Rather than being the source of dismissal, the project transformed into a beacon of hope and honesty. As Jack absorbed the moment, he felt the corners of his mouth lift into a wide smile, a reflection of the bond surrounding him. This was a breakthrough, not just in science, but in unity that, as the judges deliberated, Jack leaned closer to his students, whispering wildly optimistic thoughts about their future possibilities opened by this small, shared experience. But just then, a loud scream pierced the air, pulling everyone's attention toward the exit doors. What was happening? Jack's blood ran cold. In a town where dreams seemed to sleep, he could feel the pulse of his own apprehension rise. Was this a turn for better or worse? The crowd gasped, a wave of unease washing over the room. Jack turned to look at the source of the commotion, his heart racing. The commotion near the exit grew louder, a jumbled mix of voices that carried fear and confusion. He saw parents standing, faces blanched, whispering frantically amongst themselves as they pointed toward the door. Stay here, okay? Jack said, though it felt more like a command to his own shaking hands than to his students. He stepped away, needing to grasp what was happening, to protect them from whatever chaos lay ahead. The students huddled together, worry etched on their young faces. Jack's chest tightened as he moved closer to the exit. The judge remained in his seat, uncertainty dancing in his eyes, unable to make a move. Then he saw her, a woman, bursting through the doors. Her cheeks glistened with tears, and her voice trembled as she gasped for breath. There's been an accident. At the park, a child, panic gripped Jack. The park was just a few blocks away, a few blocks where families gathered, where laughter mingled with sunbeams through trees. Suddenly, that cheerful place felt like a distant memory. A childhood story turned dark. He knew he had to do something, but the words caught in his throat. Around him, the audience began to murmur, unease growing like a wildfire. What kind of accident? Someone shouted. Is everyone okay? He needs help, the woman called out, desperation woven into her voice. They need volunteers. Jack felt a pull in his gut, igniting his instincts. Without a second thought, he turned to his students, their anxious faces reflecting back his turmoil. Listen up, everyone, Jack said, trying to keep his voice steady. There's an emergency at the park. We need to help. I want you all to stay put with Mrs. Hernandez, okay? She'll make sure you're safe. But Mr. Davis, one boy protested, his voice breaking. What if something happened to someone we know? Jack knelt down, meeting the boy's gaze, his heart pounding. I promise, we'll find out what is going on. But for now, listen to Mrs. Hernandez. Some things are bigger than just this fair, and we need to join together. He could see the determination in his students' eyes soften into a thread of courage. They nodded, some sharing whispered reassurances with one another. Jack rushed toward the doors, the crowd parting as he moved through. Once outside, the sun felt sharper, the world too vibrant against the weight of dread. The park loomed ahead, once a refuge, now a place of uncertainty. He sprinted down the street alongside the frantic woman, adrenaline fueled by a mix of fear and resolve. As they neared the park, shouts mingling with sirens swirled into a disorienting soundscape. Jack's mind raced. Who needed help? Would he be able to do anything? But beyond the urgent cries, he felt a tug of something familiar, a pull of community. A call to action. Come on, he urged, not just to the woman, but to himself, to everyone running toward the scene. We can't let fear stop us. We can make a difference. His heart raced, fueled by the unity he had witnessed in the classroom just moments before. What if this moment became their true test? When they reached the park gates, Jack's breath caught in his chest. There, a small crowd began to form. Would they face despair or hope? As they stepped forward together, a chill tickled his spine. Perhaps change was lurking, just waiting for someone, anyone, to embrace what awaited them could shift their lives forever. Jack pushed through the crowd, his heart slamming in his chest. The chaos felt palpable, each person a fragment of fear and urgency. Children clutched onto their parents, as whispers of what happened at the park danced in the air, each word heavier than the last. Jack scanned the faces around him, searching for anyone who knew more, anyone who could provide clarity amid the storm of uncertainty. As they stepped into the park, his eyes were drawn to the scene ahead. A small group of people were gathered near a playground, the joyful sounds of children no longer echoing. Instead, he heard cries sharp, piercing, filled with panic. It was an unsettling transformation for a place that, just moments ago, had been filled with laughter. "Over here," cried the woman who had first burst through the doors. Her voice cut through Jack's daze, urging him forward. He followed her, adrenaline propelling him past a jumble of parents and children, closer to the heart of the unfolding tragedy. Jack's gaze settled on a small boy, lying on the ground, a figure dressed in bright colors cradling him. The sight snipped at his heart like a fraying thread, pulling him into a reality that felt too heavy to bear. The boy's friends stood nearby, confusion and fear etched deeply into their features. Jack felt tears prick his eyes. "Is he okay? Is he going to be okay?" One of the girls whispered, her voice shaking. The air thickened with doubt, and Jack took a deep breath. "We need to help. We need to give them space." Instinctively, he began to organize the crowd. "Can I get some volunteers? People who can assist with crowd control? We need to keep this area clear for help to arrive." A few adults stepped forward, faces pale but resolute. Yet a part of him wished he were one of them, out there offering comfort to the child instead of just directing others. As more onlookers gathered, the weight of helplessness deepened. "Where's the ambulance?" Someone shouted, worry leaking into the question. Jack looked back toward the entrance, hoping beyond hope that they wouldn't take long. Each minute felt insurmountable. In the midst of this turmoil, he realized that many of these faces in the crowd were from his own school, their lives intertwined in a fragile fabric of community. "Listen," he commanded, adrenaline sharpening his voice. "There's a team coming. We need to stay calm. Everyone here is a part of this together." His words ignited something, a flicker of hope mingled with the fear, as parents and children started to help each other, offering water, tissues, arm-holding strength. They were all waiting, hearts pounding in unison, fighting back against fear with shared compassion. Then he caught sight of someone heading toward them, a firefighter rushing with determination. Jack's heart lifted slightly amidst the dread. He felt the beginnings of relief. "Help is here. Just hold on, buddy. Just hold on," he whispered, his own voice cracking. The child's eyes were fluttering. Jack wanted desperately to believe that everything would be all right, that they were all going to look back at this day and pull strength from it rather than bitterness. As the firefighter knelt down, assessing the boy's condition, everything else faded away. Jack stood back, breath held, the whole world reduced to this moment. Would they pull through? Would the community's love be enough? In this moment of uncertainty, when everything hung in the balance, Jack wondered if the strength of their connections could heal more than just physical wounds. And as he stood there, he couldn't shake the feeling that somehow this event would shape not just this day, but the lives of everyone who touched it. What change could arise from such trauma? Would they emerge stronger together, or would this be a scar that never healed? Jack's heart sank as he watched the firefighter lean closer to the boy, a tight knot of anxiety forming in his stomach. The air felt heavy, and the mingling sense of grass and sweat only added to the thick tension that enveloped the park. He had directed others to help, but now he felt utterly useless. The crowd shifted subtly, tension radiating as whispers spread like wildfire. Is he going to be okay? How did this happen? Every murmur felt like a weight pressing down on him, tightening his chest further. He longed for someone to scream that everything would be all right, to give them all something to cling to amid this chaos. Just then, two paramedics rushed onto the scene, their uniforms a burst of color in the dull dimness of fear. Jack stepped aside as they knelt down, speaking in calm but firm tones. "What's the child's name?" One of them asked the firefighter, who hesitated, eyes darting toward the boy. It felt like time stood still, every second stretching longer than the last. "Danny," a woman's voice suddenly echoed from the crowd, breaking the spell. The boy's mother. Jack turned to see her, eyes wide with terror, tears streaming down her face. She pushed through the throng that had formed, desperation etched on her features. Jack's heart ached for her. How could anyone endure this kind of pain? "Danny," she cried, falling to her knees beside him. The paramedics quickly guided her aside, their hands gentle yet firm. "Ma'am, please let us do our job." But she didn't move. Her eyes were locked on her son, fear and maternal love swirling in a storm deep inside her. Jack could see she was barely holding on, her face a mask of worry and disbelief that resonated deeply within him. In that moment, he understood this was more than an accident at the park. It was her entire world on the line, and it was everyone else's world now. "Please," she whispered, a plea so raw it struck at Jack's heart. Before he knew it, he stepped closer to her. "He is strong," he said, his voice surprising him with its steadiness. "He is all of us. Look around." Her gaze shifted, seeing the crowd who had begun to hold hands and murmur quiet words of support. Families huddled together, sharing soft reassurances that seemed to cradle the fear in the air, a collective hope focusing on that little boy. "It'll be okay," Jack continued, pouring every ounce of belief into his words. "We're going to get through this together." For a fleeting moment, the flicker of hope returned to the mother's eyes, and she nodded slightly. Jack felt a connection surge, not just between him and her, but across the entire gathering. They were all in it, intertwined in fear, but also in support. As the paramedics worked, Jack joined a small group that began to distribute water, comforting others who were just as shaken. He had never felt such urgency to act, yet it also felt like the most vital thing he could do bit by bit. They were creating something tangible out of the chaos. But as the minutes passed, Jack couldn't shake the unease that settled back in his gut. What if this wasn't enough? What if they didn't get the result they all so desperately craved? Suddenly, a commotion from the crowd captured his attention. A middle-aged man surged forward, gesturing wildly, his face pale. "They're saying the road is blocked. The other ambulance can't get through." The words sent a ripple of panic through the group. Hearts dropped, and Jack felt the uncertainty clawing at him once more. Could they really endure more turmoil? Was there even a way to turn this situation around? Just as despair threatened to drown him, he caught sight of the boy under the hands of the paramedics. Their rhythm was steady, their movements intentional. They seemed to embody the promise that there was a path ahead, a glimmer of light shining through the fear. "Everyone," Jack shouted, his voice ringing clear amid the rising tension. "We need to figure this out. Can anyone help clear the roads? Anyone know a shortcut?" A few heads nodded, and a sense of renewed purpose spread among the crowd. Inspiration glimmered like a beacon as he felt hope rooting itself firmly in the hearts of those around him. Together, they were becoming more than just bystanders. They were a force. And then, just as new plans began to form among them, he realized that they were walking on a brink. Only they had the power to shape this story, and perhaps it would change everything for the better. But would that hope hold strong, or would they witness yet another slip into despair? Where could their combined strength take them next? Fear flickered in Jack's mind as he watched the crowd rally. Faces determined, yet anxious, they banded together, each one searching for a solution. A man stepped forward, nodding sharply. "I know a shortcut. It's a back road, but I can get someone there fast." He looked around, and as he caught Jack's eye, their shared understanding deepened. They were going to act. "Great! Who else with us?" Jack called out. He felt the spark igniting, a chain reaction of urgency transforming the crowd. Several hands shot up, volunteers breaking free from the masses, each eager to lend their strength to a mission that felt bigger than themselves. "Let us move," shouted the man who had offered the shortcut. Jack and a handful of others followed him as they maneuvered through the park, hearts hoping for a miracle as they zigzagged around trees and families still huddled in prayerful circles. Sweat dripped from Jack's brow as he kept pace. Each step echoed a pounding promise. They had to get to that other ambulance before it was too late. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on his shoulders, but he pushed forward, drawing in the strength of those around him. As they reached the edge of the park, Jack gestured for everyone to pause. He caught his breath, glancing back toward the chaos that had become his reality. "Okay," he said, voice urgent yet steady. "We need a coordinated effort. We'll direct traffic, clear a path for the ambulance. Let people know that there is someone in need." Together, they formed a line, stepping onto the road with determination. Cars were forced to a halt, drivers puzzled and questioning the sudden chaos. Jack waved his arms, shouting for them to stay back. "Please, we need to clear the way. It's an emergency." For a moment, it felt like the world had come to a standstill. Then a couple of cars began to reverse, and soon the traffic had thinned, creating a narrow passage lined with bodies ready to guide the ambulance through. Tension tightened Jack's throat, but he pressed on. Would the paramedics be able to reach Danny in time? The sound of sirens pierced the air, and the crowd let out a collective sigh. Relief swept through Jack as he stepped aside, waving to guide the ambulance down the newly cleared path. When it finally arrived, the paramedics wasted no time. They leapt from the vehicle, rushing to the rear doors, and the commotion tied Jack's stomach in knots all over again. Meanwhile, worry bubbled in the pit of the mother's stomach. She had been watching helplessly, tears refusing to cease. Jack returned to her side, sensing her apprehension. "They're here now. Danny's going to get help," he assured her, wrapping his arm gently around her shoulder. But she shook her head, her expression still hauntingly vacant. What if they can't save him? Jack's heart ached as he met her gaze, feeling her despair so close to his own. "We've come too far for that to be the case," he replied, wishing he could believe it wholeheartedly. He spotted the urgency in the paramedics' movements, their expressions reflecting the weight of responsibility. "Danny's got a whole army out here. He can't let us down." Suddenly, a shout caught their attention. One of the paramedics emerged from the back with a piece of equipment, training it on the boy. Jack held his breath, prayers swirling around them like a silent invocation. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw something move. A girl peeking through the crowd. She looked small and fragile, uncertain. Jack recognized her. "That's Danny's sister," he shouted. He rushed toward her, ready to draw her back to her mom. Though he feared the grief she might carry was too much for a child. "Hey, it's gonna be okay. Your brother's surrounded by help." But she shook her head adamantly. "I have to see him. He needs me. I know he needs me. primal instinct sparked in Jack as he understood the urgency of family, the thread binding them in the face of danger. They needed to be together to face this storm as one. That the realization brought clarity. You're right. You should be with him. Jack turned, scanning the scene, forming a plan. Time was running out. As the world around him began to warp under the weight of fear, he called out again with newfound conviction. We need to create a space for the family. Help me. With the urgency and warmth of collective hope, Jack led the charge, cutting through uncertainty. Each step was a promise of togetherness. Even against the odds, they would not falter. And as they positioned themselves, a sense of palpable determination filled the air. But as Jack glanced back, he felt that familiar knot of dread tightening in his chest once again. Would they truly get Danny through this? Would they find a way to make it all right again? The stakes felt higher than ever as the ambulance doors were thrown wide, a new reality dawning within. The moment the ambulance doors swung open, an electric tension filled the air. Jack pushed forward, his heart racing. Each second felt like an eternity. The paramedics were already feverishly working, shouting over one another as they assessed Danny's condition. Jack could see the boy's pale face against the stretcher, the medical equipment beeping in a frantic rhythm that matched his own heartbeat. Danny's sister stood beside Jack, eyes wide and full of fear. She grasped his hand tightly, as if her small size could somehow tether her to the gravity of the situation. Is he going to be okay? She whispered, her voice barely audible over the chaos. Jack took a deep breath, searching for the right words, but the truth felt too heavy to articulate. They're doing everything they can, he replied, squeezing her hand to provide reassurance. Yet uncertainty loomed in his chest, clawing at his insides. The paramedics lifted Danny onto a gurney, their movements practiced and swift. Jack noticed one of them, a woman with worry lines etched across her forehead, call for more equipment. We need a defibrillator, she shouted. Panic swelled within him. Did that mean things were worse than he hoped? He exchanged a glance with Danny's sister and felt a flicker of determination ignite anew. She needed to see her brother, needed to let him know he wasn't alone. Stay close, he urged her, guiding her as they stepped aside to give the medical team space. But he didn't want her to lose sight of her brother amidst the urgency. The paramedics were whispering about vitals while they meticulously attached the defibrillator pads to Danny's chest. The low buzz of concentrated voices surrounded them, a bubble of shared responsibility and hope. Jack stepped back, allowing a nearby woman to help Danny's sister stay calm. In that moment, he realized he couldn't just stand idle. He turned to the crowd, still buzzing with anxious energy, just behind them. Listen, we need to clear the way. Let us make sure the doctors can work without distractions. The crowd responded quickly, their fears turning into action as they formed a barrier. Moms, dads, teens, all stepping away from the path they had created. Jack felt a surge of gratitude wash over him. There they were, a community coming together in the face of adversity, bound by their refusal to accept defeat. Yes, he looked back at Danny. The paramedics were finishing up their task, and now every eye was on that small frame. Okay, let us go, shouted the lead paramedic. Jack's heart sank as they wheeled Danny toward the waiting ambulance. This is it, he thought, a surge of urgency propelling him forward. He turned to the girl. We're going with him, okay? You need to be there for him. She nodded, though tears streamed down her cheeks. Jack felt the weight of their shared worry, but also the power of unity. They jumped into the back of the ambulance just in time. The doors swung shut behind them, sealing off the world outside. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with medical jargon, the paramedics moving like clockwork. It was loud, yet somehow sacred. Jack could hear the machine's rhythmic beeping and felt every ounce of hope pooled in that small space. The girl looked up at him, her eyes filled with silent pleading. What if he doesn't wake up? Jack's heart twisted at the thought. We're gonna help him, I promise, he said, feeling the weight of that promise amp up his resolve. Every second is a chance. He can feel you here. He knows you're not giving up. As the ambulance sped through the streets, the sirens slicing through the night like a knife, Jack felt a flicker of hope war with despair. Would they be able to save Danny? Could they pull him back from the edge? Just then, the lead paramedic shouted, "Get ready to assist." Jack's stomach dropped. Everything was about to change in an instant. Would they make it in time? Would they all pull through? The answer felt tantalizingly close, yet frighteningly distant as they rushed toward an uncertain future. The ambulance surged forward, lights flashing, sirens wailing a state of emergency, painting every street in vivid color. Inside, Jack felt the walls closing in. It was just him, the girl, and the frantic energy of the paramedics working on Danny. The woman with the worry lines, now a hurricane of determination, shouted commands as she monitored the fragile boy's vitals. "Stay focused. We need to keep him stable." Her voice was calm amidst the storm, a beacon anchoring them to hope. Jack stole a glance at Danny's sister. Her small frame trembled, but she held tightly to her brother's hand, as if her grip alone could keep him tethered to life. The lead paramedic turned to Jack, his expression chiseled with urgency. "Are you trained in CPR?" he asked, eyes steely, pressing Jack for a response. No, but I can help," Jack replied hastily, adrenaline coursing through him. He was unsure of what he could truly do, but watching them work now felt like being on the sideline of a battle. He was a TA soldier, but he wanted to be part of the fight. "Just hold his hand," the paramedic ordered, shifting his attention back to Danny. "Let him know he's not alone." Jack grabbed Danny's hand firmly, feeling the coldness of it against his palm. "I'm right here, buddy. You're not alone," he whispered, willing his voice to be strong. He could feel the girl squeeze closer, wanting to share the warmth of her small body with her brother, even as the paramedics worked to stabilize him. The girl looked up at him, her eyes questioning. What if it's not enough? Her words cut through the chaos, carrying the weight of every sibling's fear. She must have felt so helpless, just as he did. "We want to give up," Jack responded, his voice steady, infused with the determination he clung to. "He is fighting. We're fighting with him." There was a moment of silence, the air thick with their shared resolve. The ambulance lurched violently as the driver navigated the streets, and Jack steadied himself. The paramedics were now performing chest compressions as the defibrillator hummed ominously nearby. The rhythmic sound of their efforts reverberated through him. "Clear," echoed the lead paramedic. The world shrank to the moment of tension as everyone held their breath. Jack felt the weight of that word, that command pushing against his ribs. He squeezed Danny's hand tighter. The electric surge jolted through Danny's body, and Jack's heart raced wildly. The beeping escalated, a frenzied harmony of hope and fear battling for dominance. "Come on, buddy," Jack murmured, willing Danny to respond. There was a heartbeat, then nothing, a silence so profound it shook him to his core. The seconds felt like forever. Then, just as despair crept in, the monitor let out a piercing beep and the faintest flicker of color touched Danny's cheeks. The paramedics exchanged quick, hopeful glances. "His heart's picking up," one of the paramedics shouted, keeping the pressure steady. Jack let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. "See? He is coming back to us," he whispered to Danny's sister, who looked both bewildered and hopeful. Just then, though, the ambulance careened into a chaotic scene outside a crowded emergency room full of people waiting. Jack's heart sank again as they reached the hospital. He could see people in white coats rushing toward them, ready for battle as they rolled Danny inside. "Stay close," he instructed the girl as he jumped out behind the gurney. The lights of the hospital sign shone bright, a frantic promise of safety. "Jack, where are they taking him?" she cried, panic surfacing as she glanced at the closed sliding doors. He felt her grip loosen, slipping away from the one thread that had temporarily tied them together in this whirlwind. "They'll do everything they can to save him. We gotta trust them," he reassured her, but doubt crept in. Would they really be able to save him? As the doors closed, he shot her a determined look. "Let us find out together." But in that instant, just behind the doors, the sirens faded as a shadow of dread loomed. Answers felt painfully close, yet out of reach. Would they find a way to keep Danny alive? Could his heart withstand this battle? Or would they face the most heartbreaking of losses? The future hung before them, wrapped in uncertainty, just waiting to unfold. Jack stood there, heart racing, an icy knot forming in his stomach as the glass door slid shut. The chaos of the hospital swirled around him, a blur of medical staff and concerned faces. He felt like he had been thrust into an alien world where time moved differently, the air thick with tension. The girl, still gripping his hand, turned to him with wide eyes, searching for reassurance. What if he doesn't come back? The question hung heavy, heavier than all the fears they clung to moments before. Jack didn't want to think about that. Instead, he stepped closer, kneeling down to meet her gaze. We can't think like that. Danny is strong, and he has us rooting for him. He wished he could believe it completely. He wished he could wave a magic wand and fix everything. But there was no spell to cast here, just the dim light of possibility faintly glimmering in the ether. She remained silent, and Jack could see the wheels turning in her young mind. Will they let us in? When? He glanced at the staff rushing around, but their focus was on Danny. He stood, shifting restlessly. I don't know yet, but we should wait right here. They'll come back for us. As they settled onto a few plastic chairs in the waiting area, the starkness of the white walls loomed. He could hear the low murmurs of others. Families clustered with worry, the faint beeping of machines in the distance, the life and death battle being waged just beyond their reach. Time dragged on. The girl fiddled with her hoodie strings, her small fingers twisting them anxiously. Jack wished he had something more to say, something more comforting. But as the minutes turned into half an hour, his mind raced through all the potential futures that lay ahead. Then, finally, the doors swung open and a doctor stepped through. He wore a tight-lipped expression, a mask of professionalism that both lit a spark of hope and doused it with fear. Jack stood, adrenaline kicking in again, and the girl jumped to her feet, eyes glimmering. "Please," she said, her voice trembling. "Is Danny okay?" The doctor glanced between them, then sighed heavily. "He is stable for now." There was a moment of pregnant pause before he continued. "We're doing everything we can, but it's critical we monitor him closely. I need you both to understand that the long road ahead." A long road. The phrase echoed in Jack's mind. He wanted to shout, to hope for something more than this. But as he looked down at the girl, he could see the way her face fell, disappointment thickening the air around them. "What does that mean?" she uttered, fear etching lines across her young face. "It means," the doctor replied, "that he is fighting, but we need everyone to be strong. This is a team effort." Jack felt the weight of the moment, the weight of their desires and fears pressing down on his chest. "So we can see him? Can we be there with him?" "He needs us," he implored, desperate to bridge the gap created by uncertainty. The doctor hesitated, then nodded slowly. "You can see him briefly, but only for a few minutes. It's important that he knows you're there." Hope flickered in the girl's eyes, and Jack felt a surge of energy. "Let us go." As they moved toward the room, each step felt sure, filled with purpose. They pushed through the door, and the sight of Danny, pale, wired to machines but breathing, spread a warmth in Jack's chest. "Danny," the girl whispered, tears springing to her eyes. Jack stepped beside her, his heart pounding with a mix of dread and love. "Hey, buddy," he said softly, squeezing Danny's hand, remembering the cold touch just a little while ago. "We're with you, but would their presence be enough?" Behind them, the weight of uncertainty still loomed, but in this moment, they were together, and every heartbeat counted. The struggle had just begun. Unknown paths lay ahead, and Jack could only hope that love and determination would pave the way for a miracle. Would they witness the return of the brother they cherished? Or would they face an unbearable reality? The answer lingered in the sterile air, waiting to unfurl. Time seemed to stretch, each second thick with emotion as Jack held Danny's hand, feeling the fragile warmth. The room, filled with beeping machines and a sterile scent of antiseptic, felt too quiet, too heavy with the weight of uncertainty. Every breath Danny took seemed to echo in the stillness, a heartbeat that both worried and comforted Jack and Danny's sister. "You gotta hold on, buddy," Jack whispered, his voice barely audible. He could see Danny's chest rising and falling, but it was like watching a candle flicker in a draft, fragile and uncertain. The girl beside him squeezed Danny's hand tighter, her small frame trembling with unshed tears. As minutes turned into what felt like hours, hope mingled with fear. Jack could see the flickers of worry dance across the doctor's face when he entered. He was followed by two nurses who moved like a well-oiled machine, efficient and resolute, but their focus was intense, and that made Jack's heart sink. He wanted to shout. He saw reason to fight, but the words clawed at his throat. The doctor cleared his throat. Jack and the girl exchanged nervous glances, hearts thumping with uncertainty. "It's crucial that he feels surrounded by love and support," the doctor said, his voice steady yet tinged with gravity. "We're doing everything we can. The next few hours are critical." Jack nodded, feeling the swell of gratitude for the doctor's commitment, even as fear tightened around him like a vice. "What can we do?" he asked, desperate for a way to help. "Just be here," the doctor said simply. "Your presence is vital." Another wave of connection surged through the room. Jack realized that amidst the fear, the love and determination of a family could be a balm, a salve in the chaos. "Danny, we're here. You're not alone," he said, letting each word breathe with meaning. With the doctor's permission, they settled beside Danny again. Jack watched as the girl leaned close, her tiny body trembling but filled with fierce determination. "Danny, it's me, Lily. I'm right here," she whispered, her voice breaking. In that moment, she became the embodiment of all that they fought for: her brother, her family. Jack felt tears prick the corners of his eyes. Every small gesture, a squeeze of a hand, the weight of shared silence became an unbreakable bond. They were no longer just bystanders. They were fierce warriors in a battle for Danny's life, a testimony to the strength of community. "Remember the dinosaur facts we loved so much?" Jack gently nudged, trying to weave some brightness into their dark moment. "Those big guys cared for each other too, just like us. You're a fighter, Danny. You have the heart of a T-Rex." A flicker of response crossed Danny's face, a slight movement of his eyelids. Jack held his breath, heart racing with hope. "Yes, come on, Danny. Fight for us," he encouraged, finding a rhythm that mirrored the determination surging through Lily through the room. Every inch of him cried out for Danny to awaken, to connect with them once again. As moments turned to tangible hours, they shared stories, laughing softly at the whimsical tales of dinosaurs, buoying each other as spirits. Jack pulled memories from the depths of his heart, reliving moments of joy that reminded them of life before the chaos. He shared silly adventures of his own childhood, painted with vibrant colors of resilience, drawing them closer as if the warmth of their memories could weave a net of safety around Danny. Just as the sun dipped low outside the hospital windows, casting a warm glow over the sterile room, a miracle emerged. "Danny!" Lily shouted, her eyes wide with disbelief. Jack's heart raced. Slowly, Danny's fingers twitched, a subtle yet potent sign of life. "Come on, buddy. You can do it," Jack cried, his voice choked with a mixture of hope and jubilation. "Danny, please." Lily's voice was a symphony of love. The machines around him beeped in excited rhythm, harmonizing with Jack's pounding heart as he leaned closer. Desperation painted across his features. In that moment, the room exploded with quiet energy. The doctor rushed in, the nurses sliding into place, all drawn by the pulse of hope threading through the air. "Danny, can you hear us?" Jack's voice broke through the tension, urgency pooling around them. The beeping on the monitor quickened, aligning with Danny's awakening fight. Through each weak yet deliberate movement, Danny started to respond, his brows creased, eyes fluttered, and finally, they opened wide. Jack held his breath as they met Danny's gaze, witnessing the flicker of recognition. Lily erupted into tears, her relief a burst of sunlight in the room. "I'm here, Danny. We're here," she sobbed, a flood of emotion pouring forth. "Jack." Danny's voice trembled, soft yet undeniably present. A wave of tears filled Jack's eyes as he squeezed Lily's hand, a surge of appreciation flooding his chest. They were all there for Danny. "Yes, buddy, it's us. You're safe now." Jack's heart soared, the warmth of victory pouring into the room like sunlight breaking through the clouds. Hope had triumphed, lifting them high above the shadows of despair. As they embraced this moment, the joy, the relief, the love they knew this day would forever remain etched in their hearts, a testimony to the strength of a community born from shared struggle. Jack looked beyond the hospital walls, imagining a future where every person in their small town vibrated with hope, a space where dreams would no longer go to sleep. This was just the beginning. The journey back to health would be long, but together they could face whatever lay ahead. They had transformed tragedy into resilience, pain into a reminder of love, and through Danny's fight, they found a piece of themselves they never knew they needed. "Let us keep this fire alive," Jack whispered softly to Lily, who nodded, eyes still sparkling with hope. "Together," she replied, and as they shared a brave smile, Jack felt every ounce of courage surge within him. And in that moment, they knew that dreams could rise once more, fiery and unafraid. The story of their united strength would weave through life like pure magic. They had a community behind them, pools of fierce love ready to take on every challenge ahead, just like the great dinosaurs did in their own way. It was time to step boldly into the future. Now, if you love uplifting stories like this one, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive tales that will spark your imagination and warm your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread these powerful stories. Comment below to share your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming Ending Your Voice Matters. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation and rediscover hope. It's time to uplift others. Together, let us build a community of dreamers and doers.